here we are. And let me play the waiting music. Here we go. Waiting for YouTube to pick us up. Come on, YouTube, you can do it. We are ready to go. Here we go.
So you want to be
So you want to be
a
cool kid. I'm going to start the recording.
hanging with the inset,
Hanging with the inset.
looking real,
Looking real. Look how real she looks. Me too. Cool and fine. Casting your net. So you want to be. Wait for the drum roll. My drum's in the other room. Pop, 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 pop. Thank you very much. That was Serge Huffman with two N's on Huffman, my friend in Paris, who wrote the music, composed the music, and sings it. And those are my lyrics. So you want to be. I'm Bonnie D. Very happy to be here with my special guest, another two, TOO, all in caps, Saucy Dame. Her name is Jonni J. Jordyn with a Y instead of an A. And Johnny, just say hello to everybody and just give us two sentences of who you are because I have a long introduction for you. So welcome. How are you?
Well, hi everybody. I'm doing great. And I'm a master of all. I'm an author. I write books. I used to be a musician. I toured for 20 years. And I'm a developer. I'm a technologist.
There you go. We have IT in common, don't we? Long ago, far away, we were programmers. Okay. I have a special introduction for you, Johnny, and I hope you enjoy it. Here we go. You may know us well, Bonnie D and Jonni J too. Two, TOO, Saucy Dames, living our passions true. We're here today in social's viral embrace. Hug yourself. You got to hug yourself. Sharing our insights in this special savvy space. Welcome to We Dish, where we've come to play, lightening up life in our uniquely fresh way. Welcoming Jonni J to my live streaming latitude. After my rhyming intro, she'll add more with attitude. Here we go. From San Francisco's Bay, where bright dreams played, at 2, playing the piano, Johnny's anthem was made. Not Mozart, perhaps, yet a spark was clear. An innate gift for music would guide her career. By 4, she was singing her harmonies strong. With a father in glee club, she blended along. Through fevers and trials, her courage held true. With ukulele and guitar, Johnny's talents grew and grew. Jazz in the summer, her chords came alive. Clarinet, acting, and art would all thrive. In college, Johnny majored in science with flair, till computers came calling. Johnny, Johnny, Johnny. Her logic was there. From lab to manager, she rose through the ranks. Consulting brought challenges, promotions, and thanks. Yet music still pulled, and in bands, Johnny would play. On stage, with great legends, she found her own way. With Marvelettes singing and Blues Brothers roar, and players from Santana, Johnny jammed and soared. Her gift was to follow where melodies bend, fine-tuning on stage till the song met its end. Then Phoenix and travel, the contracts took hold, but chickenpox stories in bands left untold. A three-piece ensemble with South American tone was silenced too soon. Johnny's dreams overthrown. In Colorado, Johnny turned to the pen, reigniting her passion for writing again. Since 2008, her own voice she found. Through fiction, through craft, now her stories abound. At first, Johnny self-published without a clear plan, but clashed in a group that crowned one queen span. So solo she went, with a style all her own. Influenced by classics, her confidence had grown. By 2024, Johnny took bold control. New imprint, new covers, a publicist's role. Hello, Mickey. Books republished, and the best still in store. Her November debut will soon open new doors. From chords and from code to the page she now owns, Jonni J creates stories in words that she hones. A true saucy dame with deep stories, saucy and true. She shares all her brilliance with me and with you. Johnny, what'd you think?
Oh my God. That was fantastic. But I didn't, I must have told you about the chicken pox story.
You did. It was in your bio. I want to finish up here. We're here on We Dish, chatting on life's score, culture, music, food, and oh, so much more. Join us live or on demand, day or night. That's why they invented on demand. I have to sleep tonight. And enjoy our dishing with shared delight. Meet us for real in our live streaming glow. Are you glowing? I think we're glowing. I love your new glasses, by the way. Comments are welcome. Just play nice. We know who you are, you know. We dish two Saucy Dame and another Dame too, Bonnie D and Jonni J, dishing a life's fun. Pour vous. That's French. Okay, now what'd you think? Did I get a good bio for you?
Yeah. I mean, what's left to talk about? You said it all.
Okay, well. I want you to tell everybody you've got a new book coming out, and I didn't include the name, so give us a couple of titles and a couple of themes and genres, and then we'll get started with our music. So go ahead, Johnny.
Okay, well, my book coming out in November is The Alpha and Omega of All Viruses. Now, that may sound like an odd title, but it is the final chapter of my Mother of All Viruses series that started with the Mother of All Viruses, went on to the Queen of All Viruses, and now we'll conclude with this one. And they're getting very good reviews, and the this one is going to be epic. It also may land me on the banned book list for certain people, but
Other than the word virus, do you want to tell us a little bit about the plot or a key character? Just give us a little tiny bite there, Johnny.
well, okay, the virus is a computer virus. And well,
Oh,
it's not even really a virus, but people are going to call it that because the story starts out in a small Eastern college where they accidentally fell in their laps some stolen kind of hardware,
hmm.
and they don't know what it is, but they were asked to de-engineer it, and this brilliant young college student managed to turn it on, and um and he was working on a project for his professor. They didn't know that this device was giving them the extra power that was making their project work. So as it evolved, it turned into an artificial intelligence, but the two of them together managed to advance it to an actual digital being. And that's what carries us through the other two series.
Very cool. And you have a lot of background. I'm an early woman in tech. I don't think you're quite as early as I was, but we both have that background don't go with age, sharing with technology. And it was interesting to be a woman in tech. But I have learned over the years, well, I've seen, Johnny, that there was no real gender differentiation in tech when I was coming up through the ranks. There were more women in my classes when I was learning computer programming early on than guys, and it was very interesting. And also, I'll tell you that when I was taking my trainings, I have 2 degrees in computer operations and programming, but most of the students, Johnny, in the classes I attended had come from other disciplines. They had left medical school. They had left law school. They had left engineering school. It wasn't what they thought it was going to be, and they wanted something different. We had young moms like me, young divorcees in our late 20s, who had kids at home, who were going back to school. And we had people who discovered the passion of being in technology, of making things happen, of coding. So, what's your story about when and why you got started in tech? Can you
Well,
tell me?
I was in college. I was a biology major. I thought I had a focus on genetics, and that's where I thought my life was going to lead me. And the chemistry teacher asked us to go down to the computer lab and run some exams. Now the computer lab was in the library. It's just a section of the library. So I went down there and I'm running the exams, and some guy next to me is laughing his head off. So I had to lean over. What are you doing? And remember, this is before Pong. So anything was all text based. And he's playing baseball on the computer. And then he showed me how to play hockey, and there was a football. And then we kept meeting in the lab as I was doing more. Well, I wasn't coming back for exams anymore. I was coming back to play baseball. And he showed me how to list a program. And I listed it and went, wow, that's it? It was like it just made sense to me. It just
Yep.
made sense. And then someone said, we have a department that teaches this stuff. And I went, why? Well, because you can make good money.
Why?
And I went,
That's
you're
funny.
kidding me. You make money for doing this?
Yeah.
So I went up there. They had a 2 year program for it was more of a jobs based system, and I completed that program in a semester. And in fact, week one, the dean came to me and said, "I want you to stop attending these classes. I'm going to give you an A for them and an A for next semester, and I'm going to hire you as a lab assistant." So it was it was like I was born knowing it. But that's how I got into computers and I got into programming.
Very, very cool. There you go. Wow. Well, I was interesting story. I was, you know what? That showed up on the screen. I didn't mean for people to see that. You were so close. You were cutting off the top of your pretty hair. It just showed up on. Okay, everybody, forgive me. I just wanted to let her know. I had a degree in psychology, and I got married young and had a couple kids, and then I decided to become a single mom, and I needed a place to go. And the story goes, Johnny, that true story. I was in Oregon. My parents were in New York. And I said, what am I going to do with my life? I need to support my kids. I need to find a way. I gotta get a job. Here I am, a young mother. And they, across country, that's where he brought us. And they sent me a stack of brochures. Interesting. And in the brochures, it was things like fairly quick careers I could get, things that didn't take 10 years to get. Things like my dad was a radiologist, x-ray technician. I could have gotten trained in that and maybe lab tech and things like. And then in the bottom of the pile of brochures, this was in the mail before email, dear, before the internet. It was snail mail. That was it. And a telephone, landline. And one of them said computer programmer. And I said, what's that? That's so interesting. And I talked to some friends I had, and they said, did you know there's a community college? I didn't have a car, and they said it's 2 bus rides away. I said, really? Could somebody give me a ride up there? So I went up there and I said to the registrar, I want to sign up for the computer class. And she said, I have good news and bad news for you. What's that? She said, it's already full, but I guarantee you, 2 weeks after the class starts, half the seats will be empty because people don't know what it is and they think it's something else. And she said, I can't enroll you yet. I can't matriculate you yet, but come for the first 2 weeks and find a chair in the back of the room or just stand. It's an hour class. Just attend, get the flavor of what it is. And if you still want to do it, come back to the registrar's office in 2 weeks. Bingo bongo. There you go.
Yeah.
2 weeks later, I signed up. I took a full 2 year, got 2 degrees, and they hired me to run a statewide computer system right out of when I finished. How about that? And I got a 4.0. And this was a community college, so I have 2 degrees, 2 associate of science degrees on top of my bachelor's degree. Are you impressed?
I am. I have no degrees.
Okay, well, I just kept gathering degrees and gathering degrees and gathering degrees. Anyway, interesting story how we got involved, and tech was so magical. It was so exciting to be able to use a language, use a compiler. We compiled our own languages. That was one of the exercises we had, and I just loved it. But this was a mainframe. This is Xerox Sigma 6 CP5, and I was key punching my cards. Were you using a key punch?
Yes, I was. I
Okay.
had
Oh,
80 and 96 column keys. And um, the I do you remember a cardboard thing? I think it was from the phone company called Cardiac.
no.
Well, it was a cardboard thing with sliders that was a really good explanation of how the actual CPU worked. How,
No.
you dial up your instruction and then it tells you it has a little thing down here that tells you what to do. Well, I took that and I wrote an assembler for it.
Wow. Wow, that is very, very interesting. I went to a job once years later when I was back in New York, and I actually had a job lined up and I was ready to start, but a headhunter called me when I had moved from Oregon back to New York, and she said, I have a place I want you to go. I said, listen, lady, I already have a job. And she said, no, you got to go. I said, listen, it's snowing out. I'm driving a sports car. I have 101 fever. I only have one suit to my name. And she said, you get in your car on Monday morning and you go out and you meet with Mr. Kelly. And I don't care what you're doing, get there. And they said, we want an assembler programmer. I said, that's not why I'm here. I don't do assembler. I'm a COBOL person. And they said, wait, just wait. We want you to meet, this was somebody else. They said, we want you to meet Mr. Kelly. I said, can I bring my Kleenex box with me? And I don't want to give my cold to anybody, but I'm really sick. And it was snowing out and my car was doing wheelies. And I met with Mr. Kelly. He said, what do you know about banking? I said, nothing much. He said, do you have a checkbook? I said, yeah, here my purse. He said, do you know how to balance your checkbook? I said, yeah. He said, well, we're a correspondent bank and you know enough about banking. How would you like to join us and be get this, Johnny, a person who talks to the programmers and talks to the users in the different departments of the bank and helps the programmers figure out how to spec the programs to meet the needs of the business users in the company. Interesting? And I said, interesting. And he said, I'm creating a position for you because you speak programmer and you speak English. And that's how I got that job. Interesting?
We had to do it all ourselves. I mean,
Yep.
you were like the leading edge.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I'm glad I paved the way.
You did. I mean, now in my early careers, I traveled a lot. I would travel to Texas, and I'm writing their systems. I'm installing their systems. I actually had to go spend a week or two as um, a clerk, doing payroll clerk. And
Hmm.
and so I got a board with paper on it, and it tears off, and it's got, carbon copies, and I'm writing down how many hours and how many dollars, and I'm going, you guys do this every week? No, we do this every day. Um, and so that gave me what I needed to go and give them programs. But in those days, yes, I was the one that talked to the users.
Yes.
I was the one that worked on the program. I was the program, and sometimes they would come to me and say, "Hey, we have this program, but it's hard to use." Uh, they had to put in all the information on a ticket that comes in with the trucks.
Mm-hmm.
So I said, "Well, and they wrote a screen that looked exactly like their ticket. And I said, "Well, tell you what, I'm going to move these up to here, these down to here, and you're going to punch all these on the typewriter. You're going to punch all these on the 10 keypad, and then you're going to scan all the rest of this." And it tripled their speed. So,
Wow. Wow. Well, my role, the job they created for me was called systems liaison.
oh yeah,
That was it. And I went into the Manhattan. I was on Long Island and I went into the Manhattan office and sat and talked to the users. I said, what do you need? What kind of reports do you need? What are you not getting right now? Correspondent Bank, by the way, does back office work for savings banks. We didn't have a come in and get a money order desk. We didn't have a checking. We kept the vault on Wall Street for the paper that was being transferred or held by the savings banks of New York State. We did their check processing. We did all of their jobs that you don't see when you go to the bank. So that's what we were. But that was my first job there. And I ended up doing a lot of other things on the marketing side later on. But it was very, very interesting to take that knowledge of computers and have somebody say, you speak good English and you speak good, well, that's not the way you talk, and you speak good programmese, and being able to parlay the two into I was basically multilingual, right? I
yeah.
was I never thought about it that way. Speaking of bilingual, I want to know what your favorite music is, Johnny. So why don't you tell us some of the songs that mean something to you? Some of the songs in your past. I understand you've got a couple you want to talk about. Let's go to our favorite music and then I'll tell you mine. So you go first.
Okay. Well, I would be remiss if I didn't mention I was in a band. Well, there was actually two versions. There was Malo was the original band that released the song in 74-ish, and then there was Sapo that was a offshoot from the band with the person who wrote Suavecito. Suavecito is the song, and it will always
Can you hum that? It sounds familiar. Can you hum a little?
um la 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 la.
Sounds good to me. Okay, thank you. I will look it up. I think I recognize it. Go ahead, tell me more.
Okay, and then in 1976, I wrote a poem called Butterfly. And in, I want to say early 80s, 81 maybe, a singer came to me and she wanted a song to use as a show tape to show to other
Hmm.
bands and things. So I said, "Hey, I got this song," and so her boyfriend paid the studio. We went in. It was Freeway Studios in Oakland, California,
Okay.
and we recorded the song. It came out pretty good. The bass player made one chiming error because he had a cold, and you know how it is having to go in and work when you have a cold. But anyway, it came out pretty terrific. I was pretty proud of that. Um, but another song that is close to my heart as far as it resonates is Windmills, but not the original Windmills. The Windmills that was done by Sting, and it's oh gosh, it's in a movie. Uh,
Okay. You're
and
not
but
talking about the windmills of your mind, are you?
Windmills of Your Mind, yes.
Oh, oh, you're talking a classic here, Johnny. You're
Yeah.
talking a beautiful song.
Well,
Yes.
if you go look it up somewhere by done by Sting, and it Sting took a whole new meaning for me when I heard
I
that one.
bet. I'm not familiar with that one. I know some of the older and more classic versions of it than Windmills of Your Mind. It's a beautiful song. And it was from a movie. Let me look it up while you're telling us your next song. Let me go look it up here and see if I can find it. Okay, Windmills of Your Mind. Unless you want to wait a second. Let's see if I can type Windmills of Your Mind. Here we go. Windmills of Your Mind. Oh, Michel Legrand, 1955. Oh my goodness. I have the French lyrics here. Comme pierre que l'on jetait dans l'eau vive du ruisseau. I'll stop right there. And let's see. Windmills of Your Mind is a song with music by French composer Michel Legrand and English lyrics written by Alan and Marilyn Bergman. French lyrics, Les Moulins de mon Coeur, were written by Eddie Marnay. It was originally recorded by the English actor Noel Harrison in 1968. Introduced in the film The Thomas Crown Affair,
That's the one.
it won the Academy Award for Best Original Song. In 2004, it was ranked number 57 in AFI's 100 Years, 100 Song survey of the top songs in American cinema. A cover by Sting was used in the 1999 remake of The Thomas Crown Affair. There you go. How's that for research? Quick, right?
That was good, quick, on the spot,
Okay,
and
there you go.
it is truly gorgeous. And I just
Yeah,
um yeah, I kind of melt when I hear it.
yeah,
So
that's a lovely song.
now to go away from such a beautiful heavenly song, another one that I like a lot is "Sympathy for the Devil" by the Rolling Stones.
You got to tell me a little bit about that one. I'm not familiar. Maybe I've heard it, but I don't recognize the title.
Um, Interview with a Vampire. Have,
Okay.
at the end of the movie, Tom Cruise is in the car driving away, and we're listening to that song.
Okay. Really cool. And what does that mean to you, to your life?
It doesn't actually. It's not the words that mean it. I mean, it's the music that touches me.
Okay. I'll have to go listen to it. Thank you. Any more? I've got a list I want to share with you, but any more?
Let me hear your list.
Okay, well, a scattershot list is You Don't Own Me by Leslie Gore. These are songs along the way. I Am Woman, Hear Me Roar by Helen Reddy. Yes. Me and Bobby McGee, 1971. Janis Joplin. I love this line. Freedom's just another word for nothing left to lose. I think you and I both understand that. Hit Me With Your Best Shot, Pat Benatar. Uh-huh. Respect, Aretha Franklin. Uh-huh. I Will Survive, Gloria Gaynor. Uh-huh. And the one that caps that list is Patti LaBelle's New Attitude. I love that. Got new hat, new shoes, new attitude. I love that song. I Feel Better When I'm Dancing by Megan Trainor. I'm a big Megan Trainor fan, believe it or not. She's got some really cool songs with cool lyrics, great beats. When I leave my house to go somewhere, I ask Alexa, I have to say this quietly. I ask Alexa to play Megan Trainor on the speaker in the kitchen so that if anybody comes to the door, they think I'm home and they might imagine me dancing to the Megan Trainor songs. And when I come home, she's still singing or somebody on that playlist. And then I have and Girls Just Want to Have Fun by Cyndi Lauper, of course. Now, question. I have, well, not a question, a comment. I was a disco dancer, performer, instructor for many, many years back in the day. And Donna Summer was one of my favorite singers. I'm sorry she left us way too soon. But her
Yeah.
music, her list, her discography is part of the story of my life. And I'll just go through these songs for you. You might remember some of them. She works hard for the money.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Hot Stuff. I was never a streetwalker in LA, but I've been called Hot Stuff in my day. On the radio, I still call this radio. I've been doing this for over 20 years. No More Tears, Enough is Enough. I think it was a duet. Could have been Streisand. No more. Enough is enough is enough. I like that one. Last Dance. I don't teach dancing anymore, but I dance in the kitchen, so I haven't quite had my last dance left yet. The wonderful Giorgio Moroder, that pounding beat in there, that synthetic beat, I Feel Love, sounded like they were on a horse, but we don't have to talk about that. And I entered a Disco Hawaii contest at the Copacabana nightclub in Eugene, Oregon with my partner Michael, and we danced to Heaven Knows from Donna Summer's version of the MacArthur Park Suite. And did you know that her version of the suite charted higher than Richard Harris's original MacArthur Park Suite? And the song Michael and I picked was Heaven Knows. And it starts out, we were on opposite sides of the dance floor. Michael was tall and skinny and a blonde beard, and I was about 97 pounds, maybe a little less, and he could lift me and throw me. It was wonderful. Anyway, we made our own costumes and we came in from opposite sides of the dance floor. Da, 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 da. He lifted me up, spun me over his head, death drop to the floor, 6 inches above the floor. My skirt was a pure circle of 360 degrees black satin with a tie at the waist, and it spread out like a big fan over the floor. Then he set me on my feet and we did our routine. We came in third. What we didn't know, Johnny, was that the woman who won first prize owned her own dance studio. She was a professional. We thought this was amateur. They didn't tell us it was pro and am. So we came in third, and we were very happy about that. So that's my dance list. That's my song list. Anything you recognize you want to talk about in there?
Well, I was getting ready to ask you, didn't she do a version of MacArthur Park?
Yeah, she did. This
'Cause
Heaven
that's what
Knows
I
was
remember.
part of the suite. It was just one song in the suite, but it was just beautifully done. Beautifully. Yes, she did. She did the whole suite. Yep.
I also love how Selena, when she went to do her English album, was doing some of her songs.
Yeah. Good stuff. Really, really good stuff in there. So those are our songs. Now we're going to go to the part of the show called OTT Off the Top. And I have some topics I'm going to introduce, and you'll go first, and then I'll tell you mine. So I think this is going to be a tough one for you to talk about your creativity superpower. Johnny, I think you have a lot of them, but if you could pick one overriding superpower of all the powers you have that you've enjoyed, that you've developed over the years, one that means the most to you. Maybe you don't love it so much. Maybe it has its good points and its bad points. But what would you say is your superpower, your creativity superpower, Johnny?
Well, my superpower that gives me my creativity for both music and for writing and even for developing, but that's my autism. And years ago, um, I can't remember that there's a German scientist whose name was used for people who were extra smart because of autism, but what happens is our brain rewires to use for creativity what would have been for emotions and things. So I've been seeing a therapist to learn about my emotions and recognize them and deal with them because I thought I didn't have any. When Star Trek first came out, and I'm watching the Star Trek. I'm watching Spock and going, wow, wow, he thinks like I do. It was it's pretty cool.
Is it possibly Hans Asperger?
Yes, Asperger's syndrome.
Hans Asperger was an Austrian pediatrician who first described a form of autism leading to the condition named for him, Asperger's syndrome. His work is deeply controversial. Evidence of his cooperation, well, we will leave his politics out of this. Anyway, yes, so he was one of the early people to recognize parts of that. So that I've never had a guest say that before. That's really cool. That's really cool. I call you, Johnny, real deal. I don't use the word authentic. I use the word real deal. When somebody comes and they're here. They're just there. They're just talking. People call it your truth. People call it your best self. You want to know what my super creativity power is that I think, and you're welcome to disagree with me. I think mine is that I get people to talk to me. I convince people that it's a safe space to come and talk to me, share their life story. I'll write 10, 12 stanzas of your life story in rhyme and talk to me about who you are and what you do and what you love and what your life is all about. So, do you think that's my creativity superpower? Do you agree with that?
Oh, your superpower goes a little beyond that because you even got me to sing.
Oh, I sing on a spur of the moment and then I apologize later. Okay, next thing. This is really, really important. What powers you at the start of your day? I don't care when you start your day, 5 in the morning, 12 at noon. I don't care. Is it a drink? Is it a food? I don't need a ritual or a health thing or how often you read the paper in the morning, but something that you put in your body, food or drink or something. It's legal. I've never said that before.
Okay,
Something that powers you for the day or gets you started. What do you do?
on those few occasions where I go into the office, and I went yesterday, and they've already figured out I only go in when there's food. I didn't know there was food. You hear me, everybody? I didn't know there was food. I went in to get the tickets to go to the zoo on Thursday. But anyway, I my routine there is I do make myself a hot tea. I don't drink
What
coffee.
flavor? What kind of tea?
Well, my favorite would be Constant Comment.
Okay.
That's can I mention the brand?
Yeah, sure. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
it's a Bigelow
Yep.
flavor,
Mm-hmm.
and um and I like to put honey in it.
Ooh,
Well, I used to put sugar in it or even substitutes, but my my fiance is a beekeeper, so I use honey now.
there you go. You ever heard of agave syrup? I use raw agave, and I'm going to tell you about my morning shakes in a minute. But you ever heard of agave?
I've heard of it, haven't tried it.
It's from I think the agave plant. It's from some plant, and it comes in a clear bottle, plastic bottle with a little opening with a little hole in it, and you can just pour a little in. And I use that. It's real sweetener. It's not a substitute. I can't. I get aftertaste from Splenda and all of that. So, do you brew this with a tea bag or with loose tea? How do you do your tea?
Okay. At
Yeah.
at home,
Yeah.
I'm doing a bag. But at the office, they have a machine that
Mm-hmm.
you punch what you want, you put it and you stick this thing. It's like one of those K-cup things, except it's a flat pack.
Is it
And I
good?
and I
Is it
found out that if I tried doing that, it tasted like coffee.
always because the coffee's in the
Yeah.
machine, it's in the tubes. Yes, I know that.
So someone gave me a hint, and it works. I take the pack, I put it right in the bottom of my coffee cup, and I just put hot water into it, and I'm happy as a clam.
Very cool.
Hope
I
my
had to give up caffeine years ago because I used to work at Chase when Chase was Chase Manhattan Bank in downtown New York in the marketing department and or one of their marketing sections and global cash management, matter of fact. And I was in a meeting one day in a conference room, Johnny, and somebody brought in a bunch of coffees and they passed them around. It was just, hey, we just got 12 cups of coffee, pass them around the table. And I took one without thinking. And it was caffeine loaded. It was a regular coffee, not an espresso, not a shot. It was a regular. Within about 5 minutes, my heart rate was through the roof. I felt like I was sitting on the ceiling. It took 2 hours to come down. The caffeine gave me a hit that was unbelievable. And I've noticed over the years, my susceptibility to caffeine has increased tremendously. So I can't
oh
even have
my.
de I can't even have decaf. I can't even have de. So if I want to make a cup of tea, I buy I have I think it's either the Bigelows or the Twinings. Some people call it Twinings. I buy the peppermint. And I like Earl Grey with bergamot in it, which has a wonderful scent. Have you had Earl Grey with bergamot?
I
It's
have not.
oil of Bergamot, bergamot, you might say. And it has a lovely sweet scent to it that's different from regular Earl Grey. See if you can find it. I think you might like it. But I had a guest on one of my shows early when I started my quote unquote radio career for businesses. And this it used to say to my guests, "What's in your cup today?" This was the one of the icebreakers at the beginning of the show. And people around the show a couple times a year said they were running out of drinks to bring me on the show because they didn't know what to say. One guest was a Brit, and he said, "You Americans, you use dusty tea bags. How could you? It's not a real cup of tea unless it's zero point 0.3 millimeters of bone china, and you make it with water that's exactly 132.39 degrees of water and you pour it over the loose tea in this tea thing and you let it steep for 12 minutes and then you've got a cup of, and it wasn't his voice, of course. And I never forgot that. So he said we were drinking tea from dusty tea. But he,
12 minutes? Did he really say 12 minutes?
whatever. No,
Oh,
it was 20
I
years ago.
I like my tea more mild.
Yeah,
But I also I can't do caffeine past about 1 o'clock.
really. I can't do it at all, at all, at all. I did have a funny story. I had a guest who said that she used to drink coffee. She used to drink 12 cups a day. And this was just who she was. She loved caffeine. I used to drink 10 cups a day back in the day, and I just loved it. I was dieting, and it just helped me avoid food. It was great. This woman said, and I almost changed the name of my show from Coffee Break with Game Changers to True Confessions. Johnny, she said she used to drink about 12 cups of coffee, and she got a new job, and they found out that that's what she did. And they said, we want you to try and go without coffee for 2 weeks. See if you can break the habit, the caffeine and the time it and just drinking coffee. So she started, and about 6 days into that, her manager came to her and said, we want you to go back on coffee, please. And she said, why? And he said, you talk so fast, we can hardly understand things you can't say. We don't know what's doing your metabolism, but for God's sake, would you please go back on coffee and calm down? And she did. And she told, see, I get people to talk to me. You see? It happens. Now, speaking, let's see. Now we have another. Oh, my drink that starts me in the morning is a shake in a Hamilton Beach individual serve blender with a pulse button. It doesn't have an on-off switch. It takes about 12 ounces. I put 8 ounces of 1% milk. Yesterday they were outside to buy 2%. I'll live. And I put in half a banana or a full banana. If you see somebody spending 20 minutes looking at bananas in Food Lion in Loudon, Tennessee, that's me, because I have to have 9 bananas for the week, one for each day, and they aren't always. I don't want to give them with spots. I don't want them mushy. I don't want them where they fall out of the skin. I need them not green, but not too ripe and not bruised. It's very hard to do that. So I put half a banana or whole banana. I put a handful of frozen sliced unsweetened strawberries, a squirt of agave syrup out of this wonderful little bottle it comes in. If I'm really feeling bad, I'll use a little bit of Breyer's vintage old-fashioned vanilla ice cream. Really good. And then I'll blend it and I'll pulse it a couple of times. And then I use it as a meditation and I call out loud alone in my kitchen to my family and my friends who I'm thinking about and people I know who need a little help. And I say, I'm sending you good wishes. I don't know why, but it just turned. So I pulse and I talk and I pulse. Anyway, I have it take the top off this little thing and this container, which becomes a drink, a glass. 12 ounces, and it blows up from 8 ounces to about 10 or 12. And then I put a reusable, cleaned out pipe cleaner, clean straw into it, and I take it in my office and I drink it while I'm starting my work. And that's my banana milkshake. And I put cocoa in it sometimes, and a little bit of cinnamon and a little bit of ginger. What do you think of that?
Except for the cocoa, I think it sounds fabulous.
Yeah, it's
Um,
really, really
and I
good.
think we like the same bananas.
Oh, you
I
too?
I get them green, and I like them to be still firm, and no brown.
I find if they're too on the green side, that they leave a chalky aftertaste that stays with me all day and it bothers my throat. So they have to be just a little bit into the not green stage. But
Yeah,
there,
yeah, I don't
there you
want them too
go.
green.
There you
Yeah,
go. Okay, we're going to go to the next topic and let's see. Is something, what's going on here? Hold on. Hold on. Hello? Johnny, excuse me. Hello? Okay. Hello, who's this? This is Bonnie D. I'm on live with Johnny J. This is Quentin Tarantino? What? This is Steven Spielberg? You want to talk to Johnny? Well, I can't exactly give her the phone. She's somewhere else. She's in, where are you? Denver? Where are you, Johnny?
Denver.
She's in Denver. I'm in Tennessee. Wait a minute. Aaron Sorkin is there? Hold on. Ben Stiller? Are you kidding me? Wait a minute. Shonda Rhimes is there? Well, okay, I can give her a message. Johnny, I'm going to take a message for you. You want to know, okay, you want Johnny to pick a director to make either a film or a TV show with the lead character based on Johnny's life. It's not her. Okay, Johnny, it's not your biopic. It's not just about you. It's a character, okay? You want to
Okay.
take bits, but you heard me. They heard me do your 12 stanza bio today. You were fascinated? I'm fascinated. Johnny's a fascinating person. Okay, so you want her to pick a director and you want her genre? Okay, it has to be action, drama, fantasy, musical, romance, comedy, sci-fi, thriller, or time travel. I think she can pick one of those. You want her to give you, listen, she has to do all the work. You want her to tell the title and the actress to play that character based on her. That's a lot. You really think? Well, I know Johnny's clever. I know she's spontaneous, but that's a lot. Yeah, I think she could do it. I'll help her with it. Okay, and shall I call you back later when we're done? Because we're in the middle of a show. You know, you really don't want. Okay, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Guy Ritchie is there too. Sophia Coppola is there. Wow. Well, I don't know. Johnny, she might pick Shonda Rhimes. That's one of my favorite, but it's really up to Johnny. It's her. Okay, I'll get back to you. Thank you very much. Bye. Okay, I just hung up on them. I'm sorry for the interruption, Johnny. Okay, the question is, you got to pick the director, please.
Well, okay, there was a lot of great directors on that call, and
I
I
know.
don't want to offend any of them,
I know.
but how about Ron Howard?
Ooh. All right. And is it going to be TV or movie? He's done so much. I
Oh,
got to add him to the list. Okay, Ron Howard. All right, go ahead.
let's go with a movie.
Okay, what's the title? What's the first the genre, then the title, and what is this character like? Who's based on you? What do they do? Genre first.
Time travel.
With a side order of rom-com or of
Yeah,
mystery or thrill
yeah,
rom a
rom-com.
time travel rom-com. A little bit like Back to the Future, maybe?
Um,
No?
yeah, I guess it could be.
Okay. All
It's
right.
um, yeah, because in this film, she goes back to talk to her younger self and
Oh.
warn her about a few things to avoid.
Oh dear. Like what? Well, you don't
Just
have to give us the whole script right now.
no,
I'm
just
just curious.
just bad decisions. Just don't.
Bad decisions. Okay. Oh, well, wait a minute now. Are we going to get this? Or are we going to get this? A little bit of
No, the
both?
first one, the first
The
one.
first one, the gasp. Okay, that's fine. And who's going to play this lead character?
Oh my goodness. Um, she has to be younger, and I don't know that I know all the younger actresses.
Anybody? What do you, who, well, let's say somebody who was young at the time you saw them in the movies and pretend they're still that age. Would it be a young Meg Ryan? Would it be a Scarlett Johansson? She's still young. Would it be I don't know, some of the recent Emmy
Scarlett
winners?
Johansson is too gorgeous. Um, oh, I shouldn't have said that because now whoever I say is going to feel offended.
Well, we'll
Amanda
cut.
Bynes.
Okay. Very good. Very, very good. So Ron Howard, and what's the title?
Uh, what not to say to yourself.
How about Butterfly?
Oh, but there's, yeah, no effect but butterfly.
Yeah, Butterfly. There you go. Okay, very good. Mine would be a sitcom, and it would star Reba McEntire or Bonnie Raitt, a redhead, and it would be a musical comedy, and it would be modeled after Reba McEntire's recent series. I hope they renewed it called Happy's Place, where she inherits a restaurant and bar from her dad who passed away, and she's got a cast of characters who are their lines, Johnny, are so funny whenever they speak. It's just it's just terrific. Melissa Peterson is in it, and I don't know the names, forgive me, of the two characters. One is their accountant. He just sits at the bar on a laptop all the time, and when he speaks, it's just a couple of words, but it really grabs you. And then her boyfriend, Rex, I can't remember his last name, the real actor who's really her boyfriend in real life, he's the cook in the other room, the short order chef with a bandana around his head, and he's in the kitchen and he's making the food, and he's a little bit acerbic, but very, very interesting. And then they have a gentleman of American Indian heritage who is, I don't know, a manager or something, and he's just really interesting. And everything he says is funny. They're very, very funny characters. And then, oh, of course, in walks, here's the kicker. Daddy had an affair. And Daddy had a child by a woman they never heard of, and she walks in with her MBA, and she wants to be part owner of the bar because she inherited from Daddy with Reba. So there you go. So there's the story, and it's interesting about the two cultures colliding and all of that. It's very well done, but mine would not take place in a bar, and it would be called She Works Hard for the Money, and it would take place in a I like to say I used to teach eBay at Adult Ed, seriously, in New York and Long Island. It would take place in an eBay selling class or an eBay selling workshop, and it would be about the items people wanted to sell and the backstory of who the item belonged to, how they got it, why they want to sell it, and all the people who are interested in buying it. What do you think of that? It'd be a comedy.
Okay. There's there is so much room on eBay as far as they started off like a garage sale, and then corporations said, "Hey, we can
I
step
know.
in,"
I
and
know. So what do you think of that for a sitcom? You think that would fly?
I think it would.
Thank you. Let's give a round of I think so too. It would have to be funny because com goes to comedy. Johnny, it's time for us to go to the part of the show now where we talk about. Now, in order to do this, I have the stories ready teed up, and let me get my sound sharing off here. Okay, Johnny, you have to repeat after me in some way and make this sound real. I'm going to say the title of this part of the show, and I want you to see if you can duplicate it. Say what? Okay, Johnny, you're
Say what?
one more time.
Say what?
Pretty good. I think you're right at the top of the list there. Very, very good. This is Say What, where we pick wacky stories that hopefully very few of you have ever seen or heard of, and we're going to regale with you some newfound knowledge, and you can use these as trivia in, I don't know, cocktail party or a Zoom meeting or a business meeting and let people know how up to date you are on what's going on around the world. That's my Mae West impersonation. I don't do that very often. Okay, so I'm going to tee up. I've got your two articles here so that you can read them off the screen or whatever you've got. And let me do a share here and let me do a screen. And let me see. I think this is the one. And let's do a share. And you should see the most beautiful words in the English language. Can you see that, Johnny?
I see it.
Okay, why don't you give us a summary here and you tell me when to scroll down and I'll keep it going. You go.
Well, let's start off with yes, tremulous is a beautiful sounding word. I believe I've used it sparingly, but it's got that tone.
Okay,
Oh my goodness, allurify,
good
help,
enough for me. A Lurifile, that sounds good.
allurify. Okay, not a word I've used, obviously. If I can't say it, I'm not going to write it.
It's a cat lover from the 1900s. Interesting. Okay, next one.
Murmuring. Oh, it's that's another good word. And it's well, I have a murmuring heart, so it's close to my heart. Boom,
Okay,
boom, boom.
boom, boom. Hush, 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 hush. Okay,
Oh, I have definitely used Nipper. There's something going on your screen.
what is it? Oh, is
That's
it?
better.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, that you got something on.
I don't know why it's okay. Hold on. You know what? Let me get rid of this. Is that better? I see it now. And it's not, no, it's not showing up. Let me see. Document, document. I might have to stop the screen share here. This has never happened before. You know what? There we go. Okay. Nope, it's coming and
No,
going.
it's
Zoom
back.
is acting funny. So you just talk through it and then I
Okay,
will find a
so
way to share.
okay.
Sorry about that.
In that case, I'm going to turn the page.
Okay, turn the page.
Nefarious, I have absolutely, definitely used in multiple books. In fact, in my new book coming out in November, I do talk about people's nefarious devices that they have that they're planning and scheming. Um,
Okay.
Mother, I I'm frankly surprised that Mother made the list. It's a good enough, nice enough word, but
I think I can share it better now. Okay. There you go. You see it? There's mother.
I see it.
Go,
Yes.
go. Sorry about that.
Radiance, radiance. That's a good word. Good word to
That's a beautiful word.
radiate beauty, and I hope it's usually going to be beauty that is going to be so radiant. Cellar door. I never heard that phrase before.
It's a
That rhymes.
pairing. They say it's a euphonious sound. H.L. Mencken called it intrinsically musical clang, tint, and rhythm. Lord of the Rings author J.R. Tolkien was a fan of its beauty, and C.S. Lewis was astonished. He thought it was Celador, which he thought was a proper name. Okay, let's go to your second story, your second wacky article. Go ahead.
All right. Now, I think we've all heard of interesting, unusual weddings. People maybe walking on the wing of an airplane or some other thing. But this couple, they actually won a wedding prize from Hellman's, the mayonnaise manufacturer, And the stipulation though was that they said where it's going to be, when it's going to be, and what colors to wear. And so they got married by a jar of mayonnaise that officiated their wedding. And um, uh, I I'm sorry, but I have to wonder if they kept a straight face when they said I do, because
Do you know
that's
they had to sign a waiver saying they would waive their moral rights to be the wedding couple and their friend? This was all paid for by Hellman's, by the way.
yeah. So anyway, that's nobody has offered me a free wedding,
I know.
if I sponsor a product.
Would you take it if Hellman's offered it to you?
I might be open to it.
Okay, I'm going to go on to my stories now. This is a cute one. A man bought an illustration. Can you see it? It's an interesting illustration, a little wacky, and it's watercolor and felt tip pen. And a man was at a garage sale in somewhere in England about 2 years ago, and he saw this and he said, "Gee, that looks pretty good. It looks familiar." And he bid 150 pounds on it, Johnny. But he knew more than the other bidder who dropped out when he heard 150. This guy was an art collector, an antique dealer, and he looked at the back of it and he saw a signature that indicated it was by Salvador Dali for real, and it had been at Sotheby's in the past. So he bought it, and it is now up for auction. It's titled The Vecchio Sultano. It's a scene from the 1001 Nights, and apparently Dali was inspired by the book, which was written by many authors, apparently, 1001 Nights. And Dali said he was going to make 500 illustrations. Well, he only made 100. And it turns out that half of them went to a family in a private collection who published them, and the other half are probably damaged. But this was one of them. And they found it, I don't know how, in this person's house sale. They didn't know what they had. Interesting?
Wow.
Is that
Wow.
is that gorgeous? Watercolor and pen, felt tip. I didn't know Dolly worked like that. And let's go to the next one. This is a super chihuahua. This little dog, this little furry chihuahua helped to rescue its owner who was being sought after, trying to find him by a helicopter crew when he fell through a crevasse, saying it in French, at a Swiss glacier. The man was exploring the Phi Glacier in southern Switzerland when he broke through a snow bridge and fell 26 feet. He had a walkie-talkie with him, and he connected with people who were helping emergency services, but they didn't know where he was. Well, the dog was barking, and the dog was sitting there scratching the ice, and they said, "Gee, that dog looks kind of smart." So they went to where the dog was. They saw the hole. They rappelled down, rescued the man, and flew him and the dog to a hospital. Is that a beautiful story?
That is.
I don't
You don't think of Chihuahuas as being the saviors.
No, you don't. I'm looking for the name of the Chihuahua. I thought I saw the name in here, but I don't have the name in here somewhere, so I'll have to go back, find the name of the dog. So thank you to the dog. And I have one more message in the bottle. This is interesting. There was a couple in Canada named Anita and Brad Squires who wrote a message in a bottle, and they sent it out to see what would happen. And a lot years later, oh my goodness, 13 years later, it was found by a group who were cleaning a beach on the south coast of Ireland. These were environmentalists. They found the bottle and they found the note. I don't know if this is a picture of the actual bottle. The note inside said, "If you find this letter, please call us." Duh. So they've tried to find the people in Canada to see if they were still together, alive, and they couldn't find them. So what did they do? Okay, you know this. Come on. It's normal. They posted it on Facebook, Johnny. And they posted on Facebook and it went viral in Canada. Bingo, just like that. And friends of Anita and Brad contacted them and said, "They found your bottle. They found your message in the bottle." So it was found on the other side of the ocean and they were thrilled. And they've been married now for 9 years and they have 3 children. Anita is a nurse and Brad is former member of the Canadian Police Force. What do you think of that? Message in a bottle. Is that romantic or what?
That is. And the chances.
I know, I know. So maybe we should all just go out and put messages in bottles. I don't live close enough. Well, I do live close enough to water. It's about 9 miles from here. I could go and, yeah, I could go and it's closer than that actually. Okay, very, very interesting, Johnny. We're just about at the end of our time here, so I have a very important question for you.
Okay.
If somebody came to you, a young person of any persuasion, anywhere in the world, and they said, Jonni, I want to be a cool, saucy dame like you, what would you tell them? What kind of advice would you give them for finding that path in their life that makes them saucy like you? And you're cool too. So what would you say?
I'd say first, find it in your humor. Find it in your and just and allow yourself to be radiant
Oh, we got some beautiful words in there. Okay.
with your humor, and uh, I think that just warms a personality, and I think that is what leads to being saucy.
Don't be nefarious and be the mother of your own sense of humor. I'm trying to use as many of those words as I possibly use. Johnny's 10 most beautiful words in the English language. Use those in what you say. What I tell people is look for a little opening in the window or look for a crack in the door and push it open, slam it open, put your foot in it, put your hand in it, put your elbow in it, see what's on the other side. There might be another career. Jonni and I each started out in our own way in technology. We were fascinated by it. We loved it. She went into music. I went into marketing. She went into authorship. I went into almost a novella, not quite yet. And I've been broadcasting for 20 years. I still call this broadcasting. I say, find what's on the other side of that door. Don't be shy. You don't have to have one job, one company for life. You can be who you want to be. Find a way, make it happen, embrace you. What do you think, Jonni? Pretty good?
That is good. That is good.
You
Find
have
yourself.
find yourself and be yourself. There we go. We're going to play the outro music here and let's take this home. Again, I wrote the lyrics and Serge Hoffman in Paris wrote the
So you wanna
music
be
and he sings it for me. So you want to be a cool kid. Dance me out, Jonni. Come on. And how you got glasses to match your dress. I've never heard of that. Usually I don't get it. You just put them on and they match. I'm very impressed. You're good. Wait for the drum roll. My drums are in the other room. Bop, 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 bop. Thank you very much, Serge. Let's play it out. Jonni, say goodbye to social. Bye.
Goodbye.